And we are back live, ladies and gentlemen. It's been halfway through almost, and the next speaker is Milad Hidari with the topic Modern Server-Side Rendering Elaboration in NextJS. Waiting for the speaker right now as he is preparing with his presentation. And my name is Petro. I'm your moderator extravaganza. Actually, the last Q&A session and the last block of guys was so out of this world that I started feeling for NASA because I want to reach for this outer world. And we're waiting for Milad. How do you guys feel right now? How many of you could drop fire emoji? I want everyone to drop fire emoji to continue this festival, to continue this party, to continue this rock concert. How you guys feel? Okay, right now I'm gonna contact Milad one more time, and I'm sure he's gonna answer for the call. Doing my stuff. Doing my things. Yeah, it was so inspiring. I see Outlet session texted. I was playing all weekend, so this is really inspiring. I was partying all weekend. Yeah, especially after the weekend, you have that free energy that appears somehow, because if you look at it not as a party but as a refreshment, as something that adds up to your productive next week, that's definitely a mindset shift, and I'm trying to use it as I can. I said it. Gonna ask my technical team, where's Milad? These are some fire emojis coming up. I want to see fire emojis from you guys. Drop some fire emojis from you guys. Are you still alive? If you enjoyed the stream, if you got used to me and nothing worries you about my accent, my appearance, my, I would say jokes, but I'm trying hard, guys. I mean, you see the progress, you see the evolution. Just imagine that I was a young boy. I was a young boy, a little boy somewhere out of Ukraine, with the northern Ukraine. That's actually my city where I come from, the hometown. That's called Chernihiv town. You can Google Chernihiv. It's CHERNIV. And for last 5 years, city experienced major transformation because we got a new mayor. You know, guys, thinking about what? Okay, all right. Let me be serious with you guys. What do you know about Ukraine? Like in terms of biases, what biases you got? How biased are you towards Ukraine? Drop some fire emoji. Keep doing it. Drop it low. Sure. Great, Q&A. Thanks for being so positive and helpful. Thank you, Lori Schroeder. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, Matias dos Santos. Thank you, Thami. And we got our speaker in the lobby. I'm gonna connect him, and he's gonna welcome you all. All right.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, Milad. How you feel, sir?
Everything is okay. How is it going?
Nice. Man, I mean, that was fire, and I expect nothing less from you.
Yes, I think you're tired. I don't know.
Yes, sir. I mean, this conference been a huge accomplishment personally for me, for the team. We're so appreciated for everyone who appeared here, that you took your time. I don't know how much time did it take for you to prepare, to give that information. to clear out all the useless information, to put the best stuff in there, to
Yes.
prepare mentally. I mean, that's a work.
Okay.
So that's a lot of work. You ready to roll?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Can you share your presentation too?
I share the
So I add it up to
screen.
the stream.
Yes. Here we go.
All right, add to stream.
Okay.
You go roll, and I'll leave right now, and then we join later, guys.
Thank you, Pedro. Hello, everyone. My name is Milad. Today, I'm a software developer and especially front-end developer. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about how to using NextJS and making React universal applications. In this presentation, it's not supposed to do to teach the whole of Next.js, just which includes useful tips and tricks based on my experience. Okay, let's get started. In this talk, I will talk about what is different between client-side rendering and server-side rendering, and after that, I will talk about routing and styling in Next.js and the interesting part, fetching data and error handling between client and server in the SSR mode. And after that, I made a simple authentication with using cookie and inceptors AJS request and setting a config to better optimization build and deployment on the server. Okay, here we go. First of all, we need to know what is the difference between server-side rendering and client-side rendering. Before the SSR technology, applications fully generated by JavaScript in the browser. After, when page got loaded, the browser will fetch app.js file or something named like that. The virtual DOM moves to the browser DOM and our page is loaded completely. Let's take a look at this code. When your browser loads index.html codes from your server, your CSS files and your CSS and your JS codes run, and right now you can use browser inspector to view complete rendered HTML. Although when we view the actual source code and the browser, we are not able to see anything more than this HTML code. And that's it. This process named client-side rendering. But client-side rendering has two major issues on some specific situations. Number one, JavaScript codes cannot run on all devices or all browsers because the browser needs to read your JS code files. Maybe your codes are new or is not compatible with your browser or related problems. And the another one, the bigger issue is search engines and social networks cannot read, index, and curl your website. For instance, Google search engines has some limited capabilities to rendering JS files before indexing them, but the other search engines and social networks cannot read and run your JS codes. They maybe can curl your website, which depends on your JS codes or versioning of your JS code, ES6, ES7, or more than. But if SEO is important to us or something features like that, we need to use server-side rendering solution. Server-side rendering is a popular technique to rendering client-side single-page application on the server and then sending fully rendered page to client. Next.js framework can do this for us. Next.js is a simple, powerful framework to making React application and universal React applications. Okay, the authors of Next.js wrote on their website, Next.js gives you the best developer experience with all the features and you need for productions. Hybrid static, server rendering, TypeScript support, smart bundling, role prefetching, lazy loading, and finally, no config needed. Okay, the first thing I will talk about routing in Next.js. If you want routing in Next.js, you have two ways: file system based routing and custom routing. First of all, we need to know what is exactly file system based routing in Next.js. Inside the pages folder, if you make a file or folder with a name and export it as a React component, it will accessible by a name like contact us. In this example, I make a profile page and it have an index.js file and I export it as a React component and it will accessible by a slash profile like ebay.com slash profile and just it. And also we can use it by nested. Nested means you can make a folder and that folder have a subfolders and that subfolders have another subfolders and blah 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 blah. Using file system based routing, it's very simple, but there is another way to routing in Next.js. It's called custom server routing. If you want to using custom server routing, you should disable file system routing. And for using it, just you need to go server.js file and define your route and define your component. And if the routes match it, then your components will be shown. Let's take a look at this code. I'm going to server.js file and I define many of routes. I define my routes and my components and defining the custom routing in Next.js. It's very simple and easy to use, but I prefer you to use file system based routing because it's very simple and has many features. And in the next slides, I will using file system routing for examples. Okay, let's get back to the slides. The next question would be, how can we make dynamic routing in Next.js? Let's see the examples. We need to make this URL like ebay.com slash products slash Nike React. Nike React is a dynamic routing. If we want you to use dynamic routing feature in Next.js, we should make a file inside pages folder like this pattern. A start bracket, triple dots, a spread ID or something named like that, end bracket.js, or a start bracket ID.js, end bracket.js. Let's see this example. We want to make ebay.com slash profile slash dashboard and let's take a see. We have a profile folder and then we have a dashboard subfolder and it have index.js and it will accessible by ebay.com slash profile slash dashboard. But we want to make dynamic routing. We just need to create a file with this pattern, a start bracket id.js, and it will be accessible ebay.com slash profile slash messages slash conversation and dynamic routing. If we won't have to single dynamic routing, we need to make a file without triple dots in our pattern. And if we want to have multiple dynamic parameters in dynamic routing, Just we make a file with spread id and bracket .js, and then we can access as a props in our components. Let's take a see. In this slide, I will talk about how can we handle dynamic routing in our components. If you want to get dynamic routing, dynamic parameters in your get server side props or get initial props, just you need to get them by props parameter and return it by props and pass it to the children components. And another way to getting dynamic parameters in our components using read router high order components, and it will accessible by router props, and then you can pass them to the children components. Okay, it's very simple. But next question, how can we routing between page and dynamic page? For routing page, without losing a state of application, we should use link components in Next.js. Link component have a href prop, and we should pass the address of located folder component inside the pages folder, like this. In previous slide, I have a profile folder and it have index the JS file. And if you want to navigate your app to profile, just we need to pass /profile string to href prop. But how about routing between dynamic pages? If we want to do this, we also should link components with a little adjustment. The link component gets two props, href and as. We should pass the physical address of our component to href prop, like this, /profile /id or triple id.js. And we should pass the output URL address, and will be shown in the browser, to the as prop, like this, /prop /user ID, and we get the user ID from dynamic parameter in our components. I'll repeat again. In href props, we should pass physical component address in pages, and as props, the URL that will be shown in the browser. Okay, I have some tips about routing in Next.js. I prefer you to make your other components the outside of pages folder, because Next.js works based on file mapping, and if you make your other components inside pages folder, maybe your production builds becomes very slow. Try to make your other components outside the pages folder. Let's take a see. I'm going to my codes. I'm going to pages index.js. Inside this component, I have multiple components like the slideshow, events, host, blog, groups, and the other ones. I imported them by outside the pages folder. I make a folder like partials, /home, and /show. I'm going to src, going to partials, going to home, and we can see these components like a slideshow, newsletter, and host. Okay. And the another one, normally I divided my components folder in 3 different types file: index.js, style.js, and constants.js. Let's take a look. I'm going to partials and home folder and newsletter, which includes constants.js, index.js, style.js. Inside the index.js, my base code inside this file and inside the style.js, which includes my style components, and constants.js, which includes constants variable or variable we want to use or components like API URL address and something like that. Inside the index.js file, I import constants and using in all by variables. That's it. Okay, let's go. In this slide, I want to talk about styling in the Next.js. You can styling in the Next.js easily and by using CSS, less, Sass, CSS in JS, and styled components. If you use the latest version of Next.js, you don't need to config anything about CSS and Sass because it supports CSS and Sass in building. And there is no need to install the legacy package. But for using styled components, just you need install Babel styled components plugin and
Yeah, Milad, I'm so sorry for joining live once again, guys. Asking in the chat session to zoom when you show up the code. So if it's gonna be possible for you to zoom in because
yes,
there's
yes, sure,
request,
sure,
and
sure, sure.
I think
Right.
that's gonna be friendly. That's gonna be
Okay.
useful
Thank you.
later on. Yeah, thank you. Sorry,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I'm going to my codes. I'm going to Babel RC file. I installed the Babel plugin styled component and set SSL config to true. And I configure to pages document.js and use this code. This code wrote in the repo of style components. You can see this. And after that, we can use styled components in our components. I'm going to partials, home folder like newsletter, style.js, and we use style components in our components. And that's very, very easy. Let's get back to my slides. In the next interesting part is fetching data. The default way to fetching data from the server inside the React by using component did mount or use effect. But if you want active server-side rendering mode and run fetching inside Node.js plus passing them to the browser, you should use get server-side props or get initial props. If you use this function, your page would be pre-rendered on each request. Let's take a look at this code. In this example, I use get server-side props, and inside that, I have a two requests to the server with promise.all. I want to send the request concurrently, and after that, I return the response of our API as a props with name region data, category data, and query. And then we can access these props, region data, category data, and query as a props in our components, and we can pass props to our children components. Let's take a look. We'll return the props like region data, category data, and query. And after that, we can use them as a props in our main components, and we can pass them to the children components. In these examples, I have a two-list component and pass region data and category data to these components. And that's very simple. But how can we handle errors between server and client? In this example, I'm using APSS library to fetching data. I'm going to show you the GitHub package URL, API source library to fetching data, and add response transform as an inserter to handling API status of the server, to handling like API status 404 or 500 status core or the other hand or the other API status. If we use this function, we can handle failure and success in response statuses. And when our response status is not equal by 200 range of error, we throw the response and the otherwise we return the response. If we using throw, we can use try catch easily and handling the errors. Okay, let's take a seat. In the previous slides, I'm using inside the catch section error in server functions. Let's get what do exactly inside errors in server. Inside errors in server, we return a status code of our result of API and pass it to parent components. Keep in mind, we should use get initial props or server-side props inside the root components. In this situation, our root components is app.js or document file.js. Inside the app.js, right now inside the app.js, we have a status code. If a status code is not empty, we can handle the errors with components, something like that, error page or anything, and the otherwise current component will be shown. This is a simple trick to handle API status and handling error page components or showing current page component. That's it. But keep in mind, we should use get initial props and get server side props in root components. I will talk about in the next slide. In this slide, I want to make a simple authentication with NextJS. We have five methods to request into the server: get method, post method, put method, delete method, and patch method. In these examples, I define headers and I define the create request headers. We should save the user authentication detail to the cookie, and inside the create request, we get the detail from user cookie and send them to the server on the request. It means we send user authentication detail to server on each request. In this way, you can send cookie and other authentication detail to server, and the user's token would be sent with the them if exists in the user's cookie. It's a very, very simple trick. Okay. The final topic about fetching data inside the Next.js. What is the difference between get initial props and get server-side props? Okay. Get initial props runs in server and the browser. It means when you refresh your page, your codes runs in the server, and if you routing by using link components, your codes run in the browser. But inside get server-side props, your codes every time runs in the server and do not run in your browser. Working with get server-side props is better than get initial props because sometimes you need to handle runtime between server and client, and writing codes to handle server and client, and maybe it's difficult. I prefer you to use get server-side props to sending requests to the server and activating SSR mode. I'll repeat again an important tip. Using get initial props and get server side props just in your root components, like page/events.js. And you should pass result as a props to the children components. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to pages. I am going to index file. In this component, we use get server side props and pass the response of our request as a prop to children components. But we cannot use get server side props inside the children components. Slideshow components we didn't use, events components we didn't use. Sorry, it's very small. Activities we didn't use, and the others. Okay, let's talk about the final topic about optimized build and development.
Hey, well, just a quick notice. That's gonna be next speaker in a couple of minutes. And what do you think about quick recap
Yes,
of what material that you got? So we
it's mostly
start now
done.
with the next speaker because I have some great news for you. We're gonna be together on Q&A session. It's only be me and you, so we could actually continue and pick up on the material slightly later together one on one. So there's no need to worry about that we don't
Okay,
get
thank you.
time. You feel good about it?
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
The following thing, in this part, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks about getting the best production ready code and deployment flow. In this topic, I want to talk about analyze the bundle pack, uglify and minify JS bundles, minify CSS bundles, remove source map and comments, and then set environment variables and manage and keep your application online on the server. Okay, first of all, we need to analyze our bundle package. For do this, we can use bundle analyzer package and we can find out what module has most capacity and which one of them got there by mistake, and then we can optimize it. Let's get started. I'm going to next.config.file. I imported next bundle analyzer and I configured that with this code, and one is the browser and server, and I wrote the scripts in the package JSON, analyze and set bundle analyze npm run build, and let me run the npm run analyze.
Go on.
Okay,
One thing I want to tell you about one more time. Let's finish it up right now because we're gonna have time together in Q&A session, and when we pick up from there, and you continue your conversation because we're having a next speaker coming up, and I'm appreciative of your talk, and I hope you understand me too.
thank you.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Uh,
So yeah, I'm continue with moderating then, and we see you in
I
40
I
minutes.
want
Sure.
1 minute or 2 minutes. That's okay?
Uh, sure. That's all right. 1 minute is okay.
1 minute. Okay.
Sure.
And after that, we need to optimize our CSS codes or JS codes or using tertiary plugins, Webpack version 5, and optimize CSS assets to minify and uglify JS codes. And after that, I prefer to use environment variable, make a .env file and setting your environment variables. And then I prefer you to use PM2 package to keep your applications online on the server with this code. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for attention. I hope it was useful. After a couple of minutes, the QA panel is open. You can reach me anytime at miladhidayat@work@gmail.com. Thank you all. Thank you, Pedro, and sorry.
Yeah, Milan, that was that was strong. That was confident. That was convincing. That was your
I
pace.
think you're muted.
You no, I'm not muted actually right now. Guys, can you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
everyone can hear me. Yeah, you did it your own pace, your style. Uh, Thank you, sir, very much for this speech. Hope to see you
Thank you,
soon.
everyone.
I will.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's too
No, it's
late.
all right. It's all right. And right now we're gonna start Q&A session with our previous speaker, uh, the majestic Milad Hidari. Hey, Milad.
Hello again.
He was waiting patiently. I'm so sorry
You're
for
welcome.
those uh, jumps that I did
Yes.
without hesitation,
Very,
and how you
very
handled it. It was like your
highest
boss.
speed.
Yeah, like your boss.
Yes,
Thanks.
like
Yeah,
this.
thanks, Shruti. Everyone is a fan of Shruti right now, and I understand, guys. I get you. I understand that the reason because of the smart and valuable information. But yeah, let's switch the gear slightly. Milad, how are you, sir?
Um, I don't know, but if you experience any lag or delay, no doubt your internet connection because
I don't
here
see
right
any.
now it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's 4:40 a.m. right now. Where are you at? In
My I
Serbia?
just want to sleep.
Where are you at right now?
It's you.
Yeah. I just want to tell you that you would need to
I
hop it
can
because it's
hear
101.
you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. I can.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2 mic check. Reload time. You hear me well now? Yeah, what I was saying is, Milad, do you feel like you finished it properly? Do you feel like you have something to add regarding your presentation?
I keep going with my presentation.
Uh, if you finished it.
Yes, I finished it, but I can say recent
Yeah,
slides
because the last three
again.
slides it was in sped up frequency. Yeah, I would say so. That's why I'm uh, worried about it if everyone got it. But anyways, guys, what questions you got to Milad Hidari, your speaker, your man, Milad Hidari, live here, making time to show up at 6:40 a.m. and in a couple of hours he need to go to work, right? Aren't you?
When I need to use Next.js or Gatsby.
Okay.
Next.js is a static generator, but Gatsby is a static generator. But if you want a static generator beside server-side rendering, you need to use Next.js. In the latest version of Next.js, you can use function get static props, and you can and your JS, HTML, and CSS files can make in build time. But in Gatsby, the JS, you don't need any server, no JS, and just you upload your HTML files.
On to the next one. Are we going there? Who's next with the champion question to Milad Hidari? And meanwhile, yeah, there is already a question by Seb. So is Next.js compatible with React and
There
Electron?
is there is no need using Electron even Next.js because you can make Electron from desktop application or all of it, something like that. Yes, you can using Next.js and Relay, Apollo clients and the other state managers like Redux, Mobix, and something like that. It's easily. There's a something package and you can use them for handling states.
Got it, got it. On to the next one. Next relay works. If you
I
get the
answered.
question. Okay. Yeah, that was my bet. You got me really good with that question and that direction. I was, what I'm doing right now. Everyone is who's wondering, maybe by chance, guy, what your guy Patrick doing right here. I'm just scrolling up to the questions that you dropped previously because I don't want to miss any anything that you wanted to ask, and which looks quite cool to ask speaker. In our case, that's Milad Haydari, and I don't know. I couldn't find it. Just a lot of nice reactions, nice kind words,
Mm, I
and a
have
lot of
some topics,
words.
Pedro.
Sure.
One of the most important things for marketing teams in the project and business teams in projects is SEO, search engine optimization.
Okay.
Therefore, it's is essential for developers to taking care of it probably.
Okay.
Something to use.
Can you
I
elaborate on that
think
a little
we
bit?
I think use Strapi, Next, and Relay. Yes, you can make your API with Strapi and using them by Next and Relay. Relay and GraphQL we can use, and best application we can make it with this complex challenge.
God, can I ask you if you could elaborate on SEO? You said about search engine optimization. How proficient a developer should be in that, in organizing the page structure.
Yes.
What is it? What is it about the meta tags? What else there are the anchors, backlinks,
Mm.
all that
Yes.
SEO stuff.
The,
If you come,
diff- the
from that background, did you generate traffic organically somehow?
Yes, sure,
Yeah.
organic. But let me talk about it. The default way of using React or Backbone JS, Angular JS, Vue.js, and other frameworks to making a single page applications, they are not compatible with search engines and they can't index it by search engines. If you use server-side rendering technology, your page pre-rendered on the server and you're sending to the browser. And if you want to use this technology, your search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and the other one, and social networks like Facebook and the others can index your codes and run your codes and index your page components. But when you're using Next.js, you can use something meta tags like title, descriptions, and other meta tags, canonical meta tags. You can have top ranking of SEO process. What would be a good project to start with? I think we should work with global API. Like you can make a simple website with Photos API free, like a website you can share your photos. I don't remember that. There is a many of free APIs and open source. You can use them and make your website. It's simple, and I think it's a good for your first project.
Nice, 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 nice. Good, good, good. Um, yeah, I mean, the questions are not coming up that frequent right now as it seemed to be. Uh, so we need to have to do something else, right? Do you understand that this is a fake forest? Like there is no, I cannot touch it. There is no
Yes,
forest
it's
over there.
absolutely
Is
is fake.
everyone aware that this is what is here? Let me. I just
React
can't.
Global, React Global. I
I
think
want like I want
COVID-19 changed the world.
definitely did. How did it change for you? What was the main? Did you where do you live right now?
I think in the 8 recent months, I stayed at home and working with other guys, other developers. I don't know. I think it was difficult, but we have to do this. Like this event, I think COVID-19 changed the world, like this React Global and other global. Last night, uh, Apple events started, and that's online global, and there is no environment, physical environment. I think really it's changed the world. I don't know it's bad or good.
How did how's your family overcoming this? Do you separated somehow if you're not allowed to in your country where you live? How is strict the quarantine regime right now?
Uh, yes.
That's that's a perfect answer. I
Short,
love it.
short answer.
Yeah, man. That's, that's one of the best answers I
React
can.
with types. You're
You know,
welcome.
there is
React.
saying. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
No, 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 no ask.
No, no. Go ahead, sir. You're good.
Okay, thank you. React with TypeScript can be default in the next versions. No, it can be difficult by default, but you can use ts config file and write your TypeScript with your project in Next.js. Next.js supports TypeScripts and the types of plugins and modules. What was your first project and what? Right now, my team and I working on a banking project with React Native and Next.js for the website from Spain and Germany. Working with holding of PayPal and Mastercard banking. Um, we're using React Native to developing Android and iOS application, and we're using React SPA for admin panel, and using Next.js to server-side rendering our website.
Good, good, good. There's a question by Lauren2195. What's the difference between static gen and hello CMS? Or I
Um,
felt it once again rereading this
I
question.
don't prefer you using hello.cms, but for personal blogs or personal medium, personal blogs, I suggested you to use like Hugo or Gatsby for aesthetic generation, but hello.cms little adjustments. Uh, I don't want to use them. I don't know why. But static generation with Gatsby and Hugo and even Next.js, you can do this the best way.
Okay. Who's next? Who is in the
Who's
queue?
next?
Who's in the line? Who's next? Who's next, GS? What is your what was your technology that you put the most time in to master it to the level that
Uh,
you mastered it?
in recent, before that, I'm using Backbone JS, Angular JS, Vue JS, but in recent projects, me and my team just using React in front-end project, and using NextJS to developing backend, or using Laravel in our PHP applications. Does anyone use native scripts? Native scripts, you can write hybrid application, but I prefer you Flutter or React Native. Don't judge me, but I use them, and I will. You can have best performance of using these.
Okay.
The challenges between native script, React Native, and
Can you
Flutter.
yeah, can I ask you for something else that non-technical stuff as I usually do? Can you show your scenery, your setup, your living room? Is it the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom? Where are you at right now? Some entertainment. Yeah, can you just turn it around? Do
Yes,
360? Yeah,
yes,
sure.
sure. This is my office,
Oh, you're in the
room,
office right now? Okay.
meeting office, and
Okay.
window, user guys, and the other things.
Nice. How many people work there? And there is a kitchen over there just behind you.
More than 10 people. More
Oh,
than 10 people.
okay.
In Hashtag Creative Solutions, we're working on various projects in inside and outside of our country, and we're using and developing software, front end, back end, and maintenance the servers.
Okay, okay, okay. What else? What do you think these people watching you right now, aspiring young lions, what they are hungry for? If we guessed, if we corrected, if we knew what they're hungry for, and we kind of know because we're doing online educative conferences on one of the frameworks they're interested in, what else we could tell them
Uh,
so they.
Peter, you asked me about what is changed inside COVID-19 situation, but how about you? What is difference in your life? Sorry, but
So yeah,
I want to
let's
know.
go. Let's go, guys. How do you feel about this type of conversation? Because I'm really looking forward for a technical help with the question that you're interested in regarding the material that was presented. I could talk lifestyle for like years, and yeah, just before I answer that question, I see the question from Alf Polo. What is the best way to include a static iOS framework in native script? What you can say about it?
What is the best way to include the static iOS framework in native script? Um, I don't know. I don't have working with native scripts in production, but you can port the native iOS code inside your native scripts, and your JS bundles can run your iOS code. It's simple, but you need to know about C and Swift.
Off Paul, could you tell us if you got it? Could you text
I
us?
hope it was
Yeah.
useful.
Could you text us if it was used? Can I appeal to everyone who was asking me that question? Could you drop back in chat some feedback?
Another question.
How useful was that? If you got everything, if that information connected to your heart and your brain, and now you're gonna go and execute on that. If that helped you somehow, like for real, no lies, no hesitations, no doubts.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm starting to alpha poll. If you could reply back, also RN 2195.
Wait, I
I mean, yeah. Can you hear me now?
yes, yes, I can hear.
Yeah, I actually think there's everything fine with my internet connection because I had talks before and it didn't seem that I had a problem. Yeah, Alpha Paul told us just that he got it. I have some issues integrating third-party static frameworks to native script. What other issues you have, man?
Yes, what other issue?
What are other issues?
Integrating third-party static frameworks. Sorry, but you need to know about C and Swift because if you want to develop an iOS app, you should know that. Sorry,
Mm.
Alfred.
God, can you tell by chance how long you've been in the industry? For how long already? Your work experience? How many years you've been here?
I have been working more than 12 years in IT and developing with software developer, and after that, especially front-end developer. Uh, I have used frameworks like AngularJS, Backbone.js, Vue.js,
Yes.
and ReactJS. But in my recent projects, my team and I using ReactJS for front-end developing.
Do you remember how
And
it all started? If you could share this experience with us. What was it in college, in high school, in some gig that you
sorry,
decided
your
to do as a
sound.
freelance?
Can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, do you
I didn't
remember?
catch that.
Yeah, do you remember how it all started? You always were inclined to be like in engineering mindset. You always wanted to build things, just play
Yes,
the computer.
when I was 14, my journey has begun by a trainee in a IT company.
Hmm. Locally,
And
or you worked
yes,
remote?
locally.
Locally, okay.
Yes, locally.
So you had
When
this
I was a
scene.
kid,
Okay, go ahead, sir.
uh, sorry,
No, go
say.
ahead, sir. It's your turn. Yes.
When I was a kid, I thinking what would happen if somebody lighted the lantern and turned into my career. Right now, I make a startup to helping kids and learning, developing to the kids. Maybe it was helpful to developing to kids. I think learning to the kids. It's make a chance to then decide for the future. I like that.
But how is that? How is that?
How is that
Yeah, can you repeat it one more time? Can I write it down?
learning to the kids and
Say
learn to them how to write coding when they're in the kid they're on their children.
mhm.
I think they have to make decision for the futures.
Okay, and you found that the code is the way to express
Yes,
the way
absolutely.
how you can influence future, but that could be anything else. Like what if I'm to improvise? It could be math,
Software
physics,
development.
sciences. Yeah, anything related to hardcore sciences like math, physics, maybe. What specifically about deciding for the future? Like you mean to being on the edge?
Just you make a pass. You make a pass and you make a logical to his brains, and they can be decisions to the
Got it.
future. Yes,
Got it. So you want them to be like more structured with the way,
absolutely.
yeah, with the if else, all that
The
stuff.
structures, the logical sections, mathematicals.
Okay. Yeah, it seems
I
like
think you're
math.
right, Pedro.
Yeah, I think math rules the world. What in comparison to
Math. I
math?
think math will change the world.
Obviously, 100%,
Yes.
sir. Agree with you. You know what's interesting when those industries interconnect and merges, like computational neuroscience, something like that, or neuroeconomy. I don't know, like something related to creative stuff. If we take the circle one, circle of creative, then we take programming, and then we take the business application. It's very interesting how it all turns out if those people, for example, from different worlds connect together and they fuse some great results. That's
Yes.
how it's,
I.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, yes, sir.
No, okay.
No, it was almost the topic of our conversation. I just laughed at how we uh, came to discussing different uh, agile teams, basically. Yeah, isn't it?
I think Alpha sent a question. Actually, I created a custom plugin for the static framework and call it in my JS, but it recently ended. Did I miss something? You should look inside the main code, and I can't say anything. I need to read the codes.
Can you? Can we ask him to paste the code? Can we do like a live session, maybe? If you could help this guy, how do you feel about it?
Can you say more detail about your question,
Yeah,
Alpha?
can if he sends a GitHub repo or sends the code, how it works in the development world. I think the GitHub repo, and we go live through it. What do you feel about it? Is there something we can do right now? Because we still got time, and it's still one on one, and we need to come up with something creative. How you guys feel if any of you in the chat send some piece of code that you're having problems with, and Milad goes through it, checks it, evaluates it, give some comments. And I understand that's a very complicated job. Like you cannot guess everything up front. You need some time to dive deeper to understand what's happening. But in general, how does it sound? Is it sounds doable even?
I have suggestions for junior developers. I prefer them to read deep documents, and if they want to learn in JS, learn books, learn MDN documents, learn JS, reading eloquent JavaScript. Um, JavaScript has a good money inside of that, and just you need to know deep dive about it. Just read the documents and increase your knowledge.
You see, there is offer
Uh,
saying that he
uh,
can share the repo to both of to both of us. He can share your email so I can.
also, you can reach me at my email. I can share my email, and
What
this
is?
framework.
Yeah, can we do such entertainment? I'm so pumped about it. If we could do it, I think that's gonna be something out of the
I think
frame.
there is no need, there is no the best framework in this role based on your project. But if you want to start front-end development, you need to learn HTML, CSS, and you can use jQuery. And if you increase your experience, then you can use AngularJS, ReactJS, but there is no the best framework in the world. Ruben asks, I am new, but I begin to learn React. To learn React, the first of all, you need to know uh, about JavaScript. You have to know and increase your knowledge inside your JavaScript. Uh, I think let's get started with reading eloquent JavaScript, and after that you don't know JS.
Milad, how do you feel, sir?
Oh,
Tired?
it's morning,
Yeah. Let's go for
but
fishing.
I have energy. I have
Let's,
energy.
let's go for fishing. It's early fishing time, isn't it? In Ukraine, people do that. At 5 a.m. they wake up and they go do fishing. I don't know why such early. Because maybe they want to come back at 9 or at 8 and it's still gonna be early, but you already got some fish caught already.
Yes, good. Thank
Yeah,
you, Oppo.
yeah, and there's feedback from all three. Anyways, I tried to figure this out. Thanks for the help, guys, and continue to listen. Thank you for being with us. We continue to talk. That's what we're gonna do. Um,
Thank you all.
yeah, but no, let me tell you that I think that we're gonna talk for a couple more minutes before we go on break, and at 5:30 we're gonna have a session of our CEO and founder of Geeko React Upon Time. Um, Intro session, just gonna talk with you, feel you guys, how you mind in general about this event, uh, and update you a lot about different stuff that's gonna be happening soon because we have at least 3 events coming up, which I'm gonna announce slightly later after we finish with Milad, after we're done with Milad. So yes, sir, I suggest you
Thank you.
to have a couple of minutes talk and then we wrap it up. You okay with that?
Yes.
Sure. You were asking me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, what is your job in Geekle team? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually a community manager for
Hmm.
Node.js track, which is gonna be happening in early December. The last
Yes,
Node.js. Yeah. The
I
last
like
event
that.
for Node.js was in May, and that was the first Node.js online conference. That was a global summit, technical summit, two different tracks for senior and for juniors as usual, and information specifically based on uh, hardness and complication of the material. But the next event that I'm organizing with the help of speakers just like you, and I'm so appreciative because I haven't worked in this industry before, and having guys just helping because they care about the community, they care about giving the knowledge is
Hmm.
a lot of, and there's a QR codes right now, guys. You could look at it yourself. November 13 Cross Platform Development Summit, November 19 Python Universe Web Edition, and Node.js Case Study Festival. The date is not final yet, but that's going to be approximately the first week of December. And what we came up with is to invite speakers to talk about their projects And how we categorize it is what we do. We categorize it in terms of success of the project. Like, was it successful? Did it fail, or it went as planned, and some interesting ideas were implemented? Uh, but you still want to talk about it because that's going to be useful. So I'm working
Mm,
right now, inviting speakers, doing a little bit of content on my LinkedIn. You can subscribe to me on my LinkedIn. Let's be friends. Let's connect. And yeah, if you get me, if I'm clear enough, you could also give me some comments, give me some feedback because it's already like 5 a.m. and I'm for I'm working for 18 hours today already. I didn't sleep.
me too.
Yeah, yeah, sir. In the same
Do you want
high five,
do you
high
want
five,
to
sir. High
yes,
five.
Harper.
Foo. Bam. Yeah, we got it.
Do you want to be a developer?
You know, I love to create things, and I'm quite creative. I think because in Russian, like I write blog. I'm doing blog on Instagram, just text mostly. Just something that was an interest to me, and especially about the emotions I was having um during any event. Like a couple of days ago, I was at a yoga festival in the forest area, I would say. So that was like a hippie camp, and it was a yoga there. And it was the first time I was there. Uh, I'm doing yoga for 5 years, but I never been at such events. And I wrote a text about like my emotions about it. Yeah. Also, I'm doing podcasts, and it's also in Russian, and mostly with people who immigrated, who's Russian-speaking people who immigrated to Western Europe or to Asia, anywhere. And I'm talking to them about their emotions, how they adapted to that ecosystem, how they feel. If I don't know how is it in your country, but in our country, sometimes people people are too worried about immigration in terms of they not gonna find friends, they're not gonna feel the same when they need it. They something else. Definitely, there are a lot of positive things. So I talk to them. They share their experience, where they work, how hard was it to find a job, how comfortable it for them to live in that environment, to pay that amount of rent, to have that amount saved for food, for insurance, and all of the stuff. Because it's always interesting when you open up conversation about different cultures. If you get me, Milad, if you get me, tell me, because if something is not, if I need to stop, talk it over again, I would do it. If you understand me, if you're with me, high five.
Yes, sure. High five.
High five, sir.
Just right now, I just want to play online FIFA PES with you. I don't know why.
I would
I
love to.
just
But do you love FIFA, or I would prefer Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang.
Let's connect afterwards. I just text you because I'm in that Slack chat.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm
Let's do it.
waiting for that.
Yeah, and I didn't answer your question because you said if if I code. The thing is that I realized that I'm not an engineer in the minds. I love to create things, but like creative stuff and organizing
Mm.
events. It's very interesting, like organizing uh, different parties for birthdays, and even that I enjoy doing it.
Great.
And I feel I'm more creative guy than engineer guy, and I respect engineers a lot
Yes, me
for
too. I
yeah,
love
for
your
just
job.
obviously because you are one of them, and I respect engineers a lot. And when I'm with you on the call, that feeling I'm having is it's like wow, man! I learned so much from this call, from this conversation. Learn so much that I can take into my life. could take and bring into my life. That's what I mean. And I tried do some programming, and I went at Code Academy for JavaScript, and also in college
Yes,
it
it's
was C.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was C++, but I sucked at it. I mean, I realized that I'm not naturally good at it, so why would I
No,
do
it's
it?
not that. It's just you need to train and
I
write
understand.
coding.
I understand. But if we look into the future, I don't see myself being a solution architect or being a guy who creates scalable systems, infrastructure, all that. Data science is actually a very interesting thing. But other than that, I don't know. I like creative stuff. I like podcasts. I like copy that I'm writing.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. There's some entertainment goes in chat. Guys in the chat, let's exchange Steam handles.
Agent Esther.
Guys in the chat, can you drop fire emojis? Because that's gonna be my uh, last. I want to say that's gonna be my final moderating sesh. Because after that, our CEO steps up and I'm gonna go to sleep. So guys who's still alive and energetic, can you drop some fire emojis for us, for me and Milad, because we're doing this for you.
I think there's
Do you think they're
no
gonna do it?
more questions.
I'm thrilled. If they're gonna do it, I'm gonna be thrilled once again.
I think you're
Says,
muted.
no, I'm not. I just need to speak louder,
Wait,
speak up.
I toggle mute and unmute. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I just need to speak up, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Now
Constantine Tarash, what you saying?
Instagram, the users
Drop.
send their social networks and
Yeah. We got some.
chats.
Can you see fire emojis from Matias to Santos?
Thank you for
There's
fire.
emoji from
Fire
Shaktikan.
emojis.
Juan Escalante,
Thank you,
sir.
Ratan.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Muy bien.
Yes, yes.
Constantine Russian. Thank you.
Gabriel Philosopher, thank you so much.
It's so funny for me to pronounce because I see my people. Constantine Russian is a guy from Eastern Europe, from Russia or Ukraine, and I how to read it uh, with the English accent. With the English accent is Constantine Russian, right?
Many of emojis in comments.
Yeah, Ben Fairbrand, Ben, thank you very much. Gabriel, man, Gabriel, muy
You're the
bien.
man, Gabriel.
You're the man. Yeah, we had some fun for sure. Seb Sauls dropped some Instagram info. Like for like, follow for follow. Hashtag Milad Hidari. Hashtag champ. Hashtag
Thank you. In Mortal Kombat or FIFA.
hashtag a player. Ah, hashtag
Thank you, you're welcome.
yeah, Milad. It's couple of minutes left.
Yes.
Before I give a mic to somebody else, do the fire send deep,
Thanks to
man.
you and thanks to you and the other teams inside the Geeko. Thanks for your attention. Uh, it's my pleasure to be one of member in React Global. Thank you.
Nice, Constantine. Look what
And
Constantine said. He's sending us cheer, sending out to ourselves. Cheers from
yes,
Montreal. So he immigrated, Constantine. You're gonna be on my podcast. That drop me a message, Instagram. You guys wanna have our Instagrams?
sure, sure. I send it to you.
That's my Instagram.
This is my Instagram.
In private, can I share it public? Maybe somebody wants to follow you.
Yes, sure. I send it to publics. How
Mhm.
can send comment in publics? I don't know.
Uh, do you see the chat?
Yes, I will see the chat, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't
So just text it on YouTube.
write anything. I don't know why. I am Milad with double A.
Hold on a second. I was texting.
Thank you, Pedro.
Yeah, I actually sent it so you guys can follow.
Fires and cheers from Singapore.
No, it was. What is your native language?
Persian,
Okay. Which city you coming from?
Iran,
What is the city? To take around?
Tehran.
Tehran?
Yes, Tehran. Yes.
To be
They
there?
want you your Twitter.
Like
My
personal?
Twitter
Like
account is
personal?
I am Milad. Same.
Okay, I have work and I have personal. I have it separated because on work I was on official stuff and something that's serious, and on personal Twitter I do some other other stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
Cheers from India.
You can find me
They
like this.
want to your Twitter account.
Just find me like this on Twitter. Keep updated. Add me on LinkedIn too. Posting on
And my
LinkedIn.
Twitter account is I am Milad with double A. Just
Yeah.
like that Instagram account.
Yeah, Constantine, could you check it? A couple of one message about from Gecko official Milad AG. I am Milad and Petrus AG Petra underscore digital, but that was the personal one. But no, I think that's not a problem. Regards from Bolivia. Hola, amigo. Hola, Ruben. What else? Do you know any Spanish?
You speak full?
No, that was
No, no, no,
just a
no, no.
phrase, just a random phrase. So
No, I don't have experience in.
you know Persian, you know English, you know React, you know JavaScript.
No, it's different, but yes, I know. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but everything you see.
Yeah,
I think you need to sleep. Which one of me
ah,
or Pedro?
I agree. Helen,
I
I
think.
I
I
totally
think.
agree with you.
Yes, it's absolutely snoring.
We were waiting for this message, Helen. Now we're gonna go. There's no other thing that we could do right now. Is there anything else to do?
But I have energy. But I have energy, Helen.
Okay, I'm having the next speaker nearby me.
Thank
So
you, everyone. Thank you, Pedro. Nice to meet you.
yes,
Thank you for your attention.
thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. See you.
Goodbye, all. Goodbye.
Follow. Goodbye.